it going, well-beings? I wanted to talk with you today about my Cosmic Bedtime Stories and what's behind it all. So many of you know that I work with consciousness and non-ordinary states of consciousness with hypnosis, neuro-linguistic programming, and ketamine-assisted therapy. So the archetype of space exploration really lends itself well to that. So that's really part of it, but it started a long time ago, my fascination with space, probably when I was little and wanted to be an astronaut. But also in my career. This started for me back in around, I would say 2007. I was getting my first master's degree in executive nursing administration. And it was during a time, like an inflection point in history of healthcare, where we were moving toward higher quality care for patients. And I have an example, a story for you. So, I was really into healthcare quality. I did all of my projects around healthcare quality. I was probably obsessed with it. And I was working in the emergency room, one random emergency room in Atlanta, Georgia. And a doctor was about to come in and do a lumbar puncture on a patient, or a spinal tap is another thing you might know that by. And he was walking over to put his gloves on, and I was like, oh, you want to wash your hands first? And, we were learning that nurses were supposed to, just say something, speak up if you see something that could harm a patient. For example, hand washing is, we learned was the number one way to prevent the spread of infection. And I'm not calling out doctors, because it was doctors, nurses, it was all of us that weren't washing our hands enough, but, he wouldn't wash his hands. He blew me off so hard during that whole interaction. And it's just an example of kind of the climate in healthcare at that time. And so I remember going through training, because my preceptor during that time was the chief nursing officer at Emory Midtown, which used to be Crawford Long back then. And so I went to all of the quality meetings with her when I was doing my hours for my training. And they kept talking about this quote that was by Einstein. And it was like, insanity, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, right? I know we've all heard that. And I got to thinking about how Carl Sagan talked about star formation, and how that we were all made of star stuff, and how stars really start in this nebulous cloud of hydrogen gas, and then under immense, intense pressure, this hydrogen fuses at the atomic nuclear level and becomes something entirely new. And I thought, well, God, if we're all made of star stuff, and maybe we can become something entirely new. Maybe we don't have to keep doing the same thing over and over again, because it really perplexed me how we could know the right thing to do and not do it for patients over and over again, like without any question. But it wasn't that way. And so I developed that metaphor a lot during that time, and used it a lot in my training and in my own, evolving as a nurse practitioner and a human. And so I wanted to share that with you, because you're made of star stuff too. See you next time.